is only as good as its cast of characters. Thankfully, in this age of downloadable content and games as a service, it's possible for fighters to continue to introduce fun and exciting challengers to keep players interested or even pique the interest of new fans. As Street Fighter V performs its final curtain call with the release of Champion Edition, it's high time to appraise its roster of newcomers and see how they stack up.
Well, ain't you a high-def picture of strength?
As the clone of the series' antagonist, M. Bison, an adopted son of brutal boxer Balrog, Ed's moveset is a remix of the two. Combining punishing punches with psycho-powered smackdowns, Ed floats like a butterfly and stings like an angsty hornet. Ed made his playable debut in Street Fighter V's second season of DLC, following brief appearances in the story modes of Street Fighter 4 and 5. Though he loses points for his questionable taste in fashion, his endearingly snarky personality and newbie-friendly fighting style ultimately makes Ed a solid new addition to Street Fighter canon. Though her brother Sean may have not made a playable return to Street Fighter V, the electrifying Laura reps the Masuda clan in his stead. Though her lightning powers harken back to fellow Brazilian Blanca, their fighting styles couldn't be more different. Laura's Masuda-style jiu-jitsu combines strikes, dashes, and holds to devastating effect, delivering a shocking surprise to anyone unfortunate enough to be her grappling bud. Her lack of story relevance and one-note personality result in something of a static character. But love her or hate her, Laura is certainly a step up from her joke of a brother.
Hey,
2 minutes. I'll finish you in 2 minutes.
The final character revealed for Street Fighter V's initial roster, Fung, had some big shoes to fill as Sagat's replacement for the second-in-command of the Shadowloo's Four Kings. Capcom made the right decision to go in the exact opposite direction from Sagat. Rather than being a fierce badass, Fung is a goofy, irreverent coward responsible for hilarious moments in both battle and story. The venomous villain's obsession with the number 2 adds an element of quirky fun to his character, and while his tricky playstyle may seem weak at first glance, those who master Fung's array of poison-soaked mix-ups can force any foe to pull their hair out in frustration.
Fun wins. I am Rashid of the Turbulent Wind. Remember the name well.
Designed to be the secondary protagonist of Street Fighter V's story, Rashid may have wound up playing second fiddle to old mainstay Ryu, but he carved out a niche for himself nonetheless. As a billionaire playboy who gets into fights for the fun and thrill of it, Rashid soars into battle either on his private jet or with his technology-granted power of wind. His fast and frenetic fighting styles has made him a favorite of pro players, and Capcom must be fans too, considering how many buffs he's gotten since release. While it's still unclear if he'll return in future games, fighting game junkies won't be soon to forget the name Rashid of the Turbulent Wind.
Do the crime, you do the time.
Originally hailing from the Final Fight series alongside veteran brawlers Guy, Cody, and Poison, Lucia was added to Street Fighter V to celebrate the former series' 30th anniversary. A hot-blooded officer looking to clean up the crime-ridden streets of Metro City, Lucia leaps into action with fist and a feat of blazing. Though something of an unexpected newcomer, the Puerto Rican Punisher quickly endeared herself to players thanks to her ability to fight effectively at any range. Armed with an arsenal of pyrotechnics and police weapons, Lucia puts the beat in Beat Cop.
Yes, another case is closed.
Let's party! If you think you can keep up.
Kicking off the top 5 is Zecco, a rather obscure fighter who previously only appeared as an NPC in Guy's Street Fighter Alpha 2 ending. A master of the Bushin Ryu ninja arts, Zecco possesses the unique ability to swap between his old and young selves at will. Old Zecco specializes in long-range keep-away, while the young Z prefers staying in his opponent's face to deliver deadly combos and tricky mix-ups, allowing players the right tool to approach any kind of opponent. Furthermore, many of Zecco's moves harken back to the classic Capcom slash-em-up Strider, a fun throwback that seasoned gamers will surely get a kick out of. Even if his students don't quite make the cut, Zecco's got moves to put you under his ninja spell.
It looks like I'll have to trade.
Another transplant from the Final Fight universe, Abigail relinquishes his boss status to join the fight with a slew of hilariously over-the-top vehicular antics. Standing at over 8 feet tall, Abigail has the distinction of becoming the largest character in Street Fighter history, and as such, his huge attacks have appropriately gigantic range. What he lacks in looks, he more than makes up with his goofy, endearing personality and infectious enthusiasm. Whether he's crushing cars or crushing skulls, this mammoth mechanic is bursting with character that earns him a spot among Street Fighter's all-time greats.
Abigail wins.
Have you considered your destiny? Do you believe in fate?
A fan favorite from the moment of her debut, Minot experienced a huge explosion of popularity despite her lack of story relevance and extremely technical playstyle. And it's easy to see why. Between her adorable, cat-like mannerisms and stylish design and maneuvers, this fortune teller's apprentice has all the right ingredients for an enduring classic character. Though Minot's tricky crystal ball mix-up may be deceptively hard to master, she's a prime example of how, when it comes to fighting games, aesthetics can be just as important as gameplay.
Come and follow me, Coleen.
It's so nice to meet you.
First appearing as Gil's non-playable secretary all the way back in Street Fighter III, Coleen's promotion to independent fighter has been a long time coming. After being teased in Street Fighter V's cinematic story, she finally burst onto the scene at the start of the second season of DLC. Borrowing Gil's cryokinetic powers to do battle with all who dare cross the Illuminati, Coleen mixes icy strikes with devastating grabs and counters, taking advantage of an opponent's impatience to seal them in a frozen tomb. Her intense, hot and cold demeanor and flashy attacks make her a joy to both watch and play, making her an easy runner-up among Street Fighter V's greatest new characters.
I'll fight this battle. Why? Because it is my duty.
A truly fantastic character's got a fire on all cylinders, having the style, personality, gameplay, and intrigue to rise above the rest. And who better to fit this high pedigree than the self-proclaimed president of the world himself? Everything from G's dynamic moveset to bombastic personality to larger-than-life animations epitomize what a memorable fighting game character should strive to be. Adding to his appeal are a top-tier power level that makes him a popular pick for competitive play. And, more interestingly, a mysterious connection to legacy character Q that sets G up to be Street Fighter series' next major villain. It's official, with every box ticked and every vote cast, G wins the race for Street Fighter V's best new character in a landslide election. This is one president we definitely want back for a second term.
Power to the people of Earth.